if this is a different look as the blind Scion comes through.
This team doesn't really have engage. I mean, it's got very nice front to back, but starting a fight will not be up to them.
Ooh, and the Gnar here feels like a cherry on top. It's one of Clear's best picks, and it is one that will dominate the Scion lane. You already have the winning bottom lane and mid lane with jungle attention. That's going to be so easy to pull off with Jarvan pre-6. You have so much power with the Taliyah. You have a side lane threat in this Taliyah that can match sides as well and punish sides and try to pinch onto the Azir. And the Scion will never really be a threat, will always be pushed out by the Gnar. So if the lane assignments are strong here for B&K and Smash doesn't get off the ground early for Dplus, you are just simply going to have to hope that when you get to that late game, you're not behind, your scaling items are going to hit, your Ezreal's going to hit 2 items, your Azir's going to hit 2 items, and then Smash is going to hit every single Q.
For the lower finals in Hong Kong, Game 1 will start right now. And Wolf, because we're in Hong Kong, we don't have the Hanadu set.
There were a few people who tried.
There were some, yeah.
There were some knowers. I think that a lot of people know, but obviously with this on the top side, she was doing a pretty good job of keeping the CS at least, you know, decently even considering the matchup.
Yeah. Thinking for a play here on Vikla, who just does not flash the shove. Now he's going to flash, but I don't know about that. Jarvan coming over, but way too late. First blood given up. 280 carries handshake across the rift. Lucid going to be spotted here. We got a wall coming in. Lucid in a bit of trouble. Kellen here first as well. There's just nowhere for Lucid to go. And the chains going to land here onto the Ezreal. Flash damage comes in from Smash. And now Smash, no flash. He's just dead. Nowhere to go. And you see that career. Trying to back, here. There's no way they're going to let him go. And the second they got the Ezreal, the Yuumi is always just going to be tacked on. And eventually, Vikla takes him down. So 3 kills go the way of B&K on the bottom side of the map.
Showmaker opts not to TP down. He TPs back to lane and is going to get some plate gold in return here with the Crystalline Overgrowth, the proc. It's really just but may even cost them an additional farm here as they are looking for more.
Oh, the max range chain Smash is dead again. And Career. Oh, we just said it before. He is absolutely dead. They're just trying to give the kill over to Diablo, but the arrow at least misses. And a double kill goes to Raptor. We got a TP coming in, though.
Yeah, this is a very greedy choice. Lucid's coming over as well. I don't know if they get anything from this. It's a bit slow.
Yeah, just a little bit slow. And, well, he's going to ult into the wall. And maybe with the smash on Kellen, they will get him. So they at least get the support. But now Clear wins.
Clear doesn't actually even need to use his TP of that situation, but bit of a disaster. As
got the dragon at least.
That dragon will go over as Raptor, had to go back there. So that makes it a little bit better, and that will tie us up one apiece in terms of dragons. But the execution of this was incredibly risky. If Kellen gets away there, it's even worse. He did not have flash. But this Gnar, but specifically minions as well, really starts to add up how much you can get as Showmaker looks to shove.
Trying for it. Remember, Diablo does not have his flash. Shutdown goes in. Showmaker gets away from the Jarvan for now, but Raptor comes in. Vikla's here as well. Big shove onto the 2 of them. And Career not able to get on in there onto Lucid, as Lucid going kind of crazy mode right now. Is going to have the cat on his back as well, but eventually does go down. And Career this time will waddle away.
I think it's worth there to get the last kill, and Career gets away this time. So as you mentioned, I think it ends up being fine. I think it's actually going to feel really nice for him to have that. Then he can proc it very easily as Vikla. No way, right?
Yeah, yes way. Taliyah really very much struggling into the Scion, and shove is going to miss. He gets axed down by Scion. Shia with the solo kill on a Vikla. And that's what's right now, especially before your Azir and Ezreal are online. And they don't have vision, they don't have control, they've fallen behind in this game. I feel like that's all kind of expected, and I think the right call is to kind of just let at least one Drake go over. Maybe you let a second one go over. Lucid is here, though, and they do want to fight this, actually, kind of. As Showmaker's not here, this is going to be secured by Raptor, and Lucid, he's going to be walked into the pit. Now he doesn't have his flash. We got TP coming in, as DK are like, who cares about item spikes? We want to fight right now. And they don't even have a jungler anymore. Lucid about to go down. There he goes. As Smash as well being slowed up. There's the big ult into the wall. Catches 2 and make it 3 with the Yuumi. They take down Smash. And that's about all they're going to get as DK just waddle away as well.
There's been so much of this game that has been played by Dplus, almost as if, you know, it's the Wadid principle, you know, playing not to lose, like, or playing really like as if you have already lost. In committing to this fight, going for the Hail Marys, another Hail Mary in a series of
Didn't have
them.
to do that.
And wasn't going to be able to do enough long-term damage, and that then the Ezreal would carry. The Ezreal doesn't have 2 items, like you said. And that was a bit of a flop for Dplus. It might have cost them the end of this game. Like, there was still an in, but now there's not.
Absolutely does feel that way, Wolf, as they're trying to punish Clear here. Might just be able to. No flash on him, and that will be a kill. A shutdown going over to Showmaker. We got a big push in mid, though, as BNK looking to get a bunch back. They're also going to get some turret plates in top lane and really try to solidify this lead.
Yeah, it's a kill.
Part of it for DK, if there is a best part, is that you give a bunch of money over to one of your main carries in Showmaker and hope that he can, you know, get a little bit of a snowball going himself and maybe carry a little bit later on, which is why
And BNK are looking to TP here to mid with Diablo, who picks up his 3rd item as they are looking for Soul Point. And I just don't think Dplus should be anywhere near this.
Nice dodging here from Lucid as Vikla, once again, he is putting his face in it, has to flash away. We got a Scion going in. Kellen just going to flash out of the way, and that means that Vikla and Diablo are in big trouble as the Scion is behind them. They do take down Lucid, though, and now the Scion alone is not able to do too much. Smash being bullied in the front line, gets taken out, and the damage and the wallets are too big for the side of BNK. Bait them into the fight, as Vikla says, I got him this time.
The draft here for Dplus certainly had its ins. Certainly they didn't fall behind with really little prio in this game with the draft they had. And from behind, when you're engaged...
Could be facing right now, when you got Talia and VODS, I mean, it's really ridiculous. Even the flag and the karma, like, if BNK get the soul, I mean, the game is essentially over at this point with the 9,000 gold lead for BNK and the comp they have. But as you mentioned, maybe if we go another 15 minutes, we could make something of it. But instead, it's just going to be Xiu going down.
Xiu trying to make a big play, but sadly will just come up empty-handed. I think they know, they have been playing as if, in some ways, that this game was only desperate attempts. Like, that's the only way back in, which I think is a pretty accurate assessment. It doesn't feel great when they don't work. But I think they're thinking more about game number 2 right now, Valdez.
Yeah. Not the closest one to start this one off, but I think we had an inkling when we saw the draft and then saw the way the beginning of the game did play out. And I think DK is definitely going to have to go back to the drawing board. They showed some signs of life in this game, but very quickly after that, it fell very quickly in favor of BNK. 11,000 gold here, the lead for BNK.
Showmaker's farmed an incredible amount, does have a 20 CS lead over Vikla. He has the smallest gold deficit, and that will decrease as he grabs his bounty on the turret. But what does that necessarily mean? What does that translate?
Red Bull Baron power play, and then probably group up for that final Drake and try to end it there. It's still relatively early, right? It's only 26 minutes in, so they're really trying to get as much out of this as possible. The very, the dregs of the Red Bull Baron power play come in. They're going to utilize as much of that as possible to try to hit this turret. As Lucid is going to go, stacks up the Q. Vikla just flashes away. The Raptor goes very hardcore into that backline, immediately just dies. But look at Clear bouncing in the backline, takes them out. As BNK, Fearx, no fear. They dive the turrets, and they get a lot out of it. They didn't necessarily have to do that, but you know what? They're going to get the tower for their troubles.
Yeah, when Xiu falls here, they should be able to actually chip away and take out this inhibitor as well, which would be the 3rd and final, which would guarantee that dragon is all. But, I mean, I cannot even imagine a world where if BNK took their hands off the keyboard, Dplus could get the dragon with 3 inhibitors.
That is the safer play, BNK. Maybe trying to make a statement and play with their waves while they can, at least. They have a lot of poke, right? So they can kind of just sit here and take the Hex Gates out if anything gets a little bit hairy. And Lucid's already half health. This is what I was talking about. Like, you have this Yumi, but you're dealing with so many fed poke champions. Showmaker dodges everything. As now, Xiu gonna go in and send it one last time. But Raptor surviving gets in. Flag and drags into the backline. Lucid creates a lot of space. The GA is popped, but I just think the wallets are too heavy at this point in the game. As down will go Showmaker tries to make the play, and he does scoop up one. but that's only Vikla, and your Nexus is exposed. BNK looking like the much stronger team here in game number 1, and they want to send a message as well with the last minutes of gameplay as they're trying to take all of them out, but they'll just take down the Nexus and move ahead in the series 1-0.
127 is the gold lead for Showmaker, the only player with a gold lead that matches his team color. And even though there were some funny moments and Vikla did end up getting solo killed by Shiu in the side lane, they had a comp that had the Glow Trundle instead of the Sejuani. And that's pretty strong here, obviously, into this draft, and it messes up a lot of what Dplus Kia are trying to do.
I think that's just fine, you know. And yeah, maybe you get counterpick, maybe you get something like Kennen. You know, there's not a lot of great options for counterpicks into Renekton, who's generally blind pickable. And maybe you could go for like Aurora or something. Gwen
actually, I do feel is quite strong. The Aurora you mentioned is what they opt for instead, and Shiu has mastery of both, and so both options feel really good in terms of consistent damage output. The Aurora damage output is a little bit more burst oriented, so fits the comp in that theme where you're looking for the Ziggs bomb, you're looking for the ult that you get dropped here between worlds from Shiu, and then he drops the weirding, and he's doing massive amounts of damage to anyone who's caught inside, and then the Yone follows up, sets it all up with the Wukong ultimate. The problem is Seraphine's just kind of looking at everyone running towards you in those types of choke points and those types of narrow engages that you're looking for, and she loves that. Yeah. That's where she thrives. A pillar is looking at that the same way. Oh, you're all trying to funnel through this one choke point to set up a really nice combo? It'd be a shame if there was a pillar in the way to interrupt.
As we hop into the ring for game number 2. I was waiting. I think I heard some fighting cheers.
They're going to have to discuss it before tomorrow's game.
Maybe tomorrow, yeah. The grand finals tomorrow,
maybe
of course.
Cantonese commentators can select like 2 people, just randomly do a little like drawing.
Yeah,
Dragons through said Prio.
Yeah.
And he's a great skirmishing jungler early, so it's really difficult for Career and Smash to really make a play here. They cannot even enter.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they kind of want to do something, but it's just a smite on the dragon. We got an ult down on a Vikla, as immediately Showmaker is forcing Vikla out of this one. Flash comes forward, and down will go Vikla. Just like that, Showmaker warping the game around his Yone.
Just like it.
And the Yone can do stuff, as we do have some pressure in top lane clear. Gonna zigzag back and forth, even flashes away. Career kind of reconsidering it, but is going to go in with the flash and the dredge line, and he does not miss those. And will pick up the kill. He's not able to get a buy off, whereas Smash is TP. And they're actually just going to get a hook here onto the Seraphine. Kellen, no encore. He might just have to flash the wall, and there it is. Showmaker looking maybe to ult on in. But
that could just be Dragon here for Dplus. I think likely will be. And it was really good pressure applied there by the bottom duo. Like you mentioned, the TP is there for Smash. He's going to use it to come straight back to lane, so he can push this wave in and out.
Hextech again.
And it is Hextech again. Now Diablo has to make a tough call. Does he want to back here with low mana or stay? But if he backs, he's going to lose so much on this turret as Raptors coming in looking for a play.
Here we got the collapse coming on in. Subjugate not utilized on time, and he flashes away and just dies to Lucid.
Nikla is overcommitting as well.
Yeah, should be able to get this kill though. We'll see what happens after that. Is he will flash the wall and get away.
All right, I spoke too soon on that one. His flash is going to be good over the fat wall there to escape.
Legends here in game number 2, especially compared to the first game we had. In this Ass Seraphine, yes, they're ahead, but not that far ahead. Not as far ahead as you would expect, as we have a committal here, and Career's just kind of getting left out to dry, as Showmaker's like, sorry, buddy, way more than I expected in this fight, and I'm just going to ult this wall and get away.
That should be significant pressure here in the bottom lane, though. Showmaker's not out yet.
Yeah, maybe I spoke too soon. He is going to have to flash.
So he has the flash, his back is interrupted, he cannot farm this wave, the plates are going to get taken out here. Lucid's coming down with his ult coming down as well, but Showmaker doesn't have his own. And Showmaker's hesitating to back, but I think he doesn't want to give this turret, but I'm not sure if he can make something of this, as Kellen's a bit isolated.
Yeah, Kellen backing on a control ward, not the safest place to back there, and he just dies. I don't really... I mean, they felt like they had a lot of control over that.
We're going to have this Herald, and they said this is going to be our first real major fight. But without ultimates here for B&K, they may just simply let it go. They're in the in position, but without the ults, it's difficult to actually fight. As speaking of no ults, Showmaker comes up in 10.
Yeah, Clear in a lot of trouble here. Subjugate is down onto him, and Clear has the inside track. Raptor just going to pick up that kill, and DK have to abandon the pit for now. Although it does look like with the Ziggs coming up and a TP channeled from Showmaker, they want to get in. The smite is good from Raptor, but now the turn comes down, and immediately Chiyu is just dead. Lucid as well being kited out very nicely. Raptor going to put down the Rift Herald as well. They're considering for sure if they want to continue on this one, but
I think he should be able to drift into the mid lane here.
Yeah.
If they tried to stay, he would have been able to disrupt the follow-up fight, but now he's just going to get this guaranteed crash. The punish is so difficult. We'll see. Showmaker has ult.
I mean, he's in a little bit of trouble. Really did not want to flash there. Looks like it just barely came up right now, but he's not going to have to use it.
And just like
with
that,
the Rise and the Ashe on their team, a nice amount of scaling there, but DK, I mean, that was their opportunity to make this game theirs, but not quite, as we're going to have a fight underneath this one. Diablo just gets blown to smithereens.
Well, the Dragon.
Drake does go over to the Trundle, and Raptor's not done yet, as Lucid in a lot of trouble himself, and will be chased down. And DK are going in one by one, but the damage is insane. They go all in onto the Renekton, as Clear is going to have to pay for their sins, whereas the rest of BNK still on the run. We have DK on the chase here. They're looking to hide on Bush and maybe get that going, but they knew they were in the charm. But the charm goes down onto Showmaker, and it's 2 for BNK. And hiding on Bush, the best strategy you can have.
Now, Faker may not be here in Hong Kong, but his legacy still remains. As in this moment, DK have no choice but to follow. They cannot just simply give this Drake up and let them get out. It's 3 kills the opportunity. But unfortunately, and Smash forced to flash here. May still be dead.
I think he's just dead. Nowhere for him to go. Vikla is unstoppable. 5-1 on the Rise. He's 2,000. Well, they use 1, and that stops them from taking the... Well, I say that.
Chiyu does commit his anyways.
Yeah. And now we're going to have the Dredge line in onto the Trundle. The arrow hits nobody, and Showmaker goes super deep for tons of damage, but now got a position, has to flash. Smash doesn't have his, and he will get smashed down the bottom lane, and DK is gone. And BNK will get something for their troubles.
I mean, at the end of the so much upfront burst at low range to be relevant in these fights. The amount of control they buy on the map is insane. This Trundle has a frozen heart.
Yeah, I think from ahead, this comp is just so oppressive. And Chiyu, standing on Vision, doesn't know it. And gets caught in a really rough spot. I mean, that's the worst timing as well. We just realm warp into the Baron Pit, they say.
The Vision game has been insane for BNK this series. They have wards everywhere. They're always watching you.
Their Baron damage is really strong. Even the Trundle and the Ashe Rise goes without saying. You see Lucid, he's going to have to go for it. He's going to have to pull out the big smites just like he did against Owner. Flashes into the pit. Tons of burst damage does come down as they try to go deep for Diablo, but Diablo stays alive. And they do get the kill on a Clear, though. BNK not in the best of spots. Smash kind of ruling the Rift right now against all these low health bars is going to push them off the objective.
And the Dragon is not taken by Dplus. They were unable to do so, and now
they're going so aggressively to try to start these fights. I feel like it's BNK. You've got to let DK come to you instead. They're just running into the jungle. Viklan's going to go down, and immediately Showmaker picks up a huge shutdown.
I mean, they don't have their critical tools in this fight. They don't have the Encore. And Vikla is still, I mean, look, he was massively ahead. He's still 1,000 gold ahead in this game. But you're not so ahead that you can just walk into 5 without any support.
So forced.
Extremely.
You don't want to hit the Renekton, but that amount of burst damage with the rest of the comp might just be enough. Lucid is spotted. He's just going to go right on in because he doesn't have anywhere else to go. And that's going to be the 6. Just blown up like that. And the Rise incredibly strong right now. And that is what Vikla is capable of on this pick when he is very fed. Is now going to go on in. The stun on the Showmaker, though, and that means he misses entirely, trying to be the hero. Meanwhile, Chiyu trying to 1v1 Vikla. I don't know about that one, buddy, as the map is falling apart for DK, and maybe now BNK can take the Baron.
It looks likely. There's just no one to stop them.
At you, but it needs to be a little bit cleaner from DK if they're going to have a chance in this game, but now might be a little bit too little too late.
That's a Renekton with half a Fury bar. He's not too worried about getting dredge-lined, as Vikla does insane amounts of damage to turrets as well and has this Baron buff on his side. They're just winning all 3 parts of this in the 1-1-3, so to speak, here with a 3-man in bottom lane.
Oh, shoot. Okay, well, he's desperately trying to clear the cannons. and instead he cleared his own health bar. So, yeah, maybe they're trying to collapse here on the bottom side, but everything is seen.
The vision game, again, for B&K is just, they're doing their due diligence everywhere. They leave no stone unturned, and so this Wukong flank is just caught out immediately. Now they're looking for a TP flank. That's out of vision.
Yeah, Creo's getting burst down in the front part of this fight as they are going to get the flash out of Diablo, and immediately Showmaker just dies as maybe they take out the Ash, as Siu does get on the flank here. And now Vikla is underneath the turret, does an insane amount of damage to Smash, and maybe he is the one that can break open the space. Down will go the Renekton. They're still chasing under the turret. Guys, you're going too aggressive. I know your team is B&K Fearx and you don't have fear, but come on, guys. You didn't have to do that.
They didn't have to. I don't know if it really matters that much, though. You have to deal with the top wave.
Yeah, on the side of B&K, like, we talked about this draft-wise. If you kept, I mean, it's already like half gone. And Lucid's like, well, maybe I can get, no, I can't get past the Renekton. There's the root, there's the Baron. Goes over to B&K.
And they passed the patience test I was talking about. They played it well, they played aggressively, they found their angle, they get the Baron with no risk. They made it a zero-risk Baron. And that doesn't say B&K if you think about previous years with this squad.
So got to be careful about that, but and also that don't run teammates coming in. They have a lot of flank boards, even on the bottom side of the map. And besides that, I don't really see a good angle. Vikla gonna take a bunch of damage, but runs straight up to the soul and says, "I will take you down." Flashes in and takes him out. Showmaker no longer on the rift as in will go Raptor. Lucid getting bullied away. And these two inhibitors will fall. And maybe the third to follow as well. Maybe they say, well, we don't even need to play around the dragon. We can just end this game right here.
They have so many Baroned up cannon minions. It's just an insane siege as Clear can buy so much space. And I think B&K are going up to match point here, Valdez. A very dominant start to the series.
Looking fantastic so far in the first couple of wins. Not very close in these two games as maybe they get Raptor, but they will not get the game. It's 2-0. That does go to B&K Fearx as they want a ticket to Brazil and they want a ticket to get revenge against Genji.
And despite Showmaker getting played through bottom duo again, and the snowball has been just rolling down the hill here. Sure, Smash tops damage in the game, but none of it is very impactful. None of the scaling carry is the question as the Jax comes through here. Something like a Victor or even like a Mel doesn't feel out of the question here in this draft. Can be quite strong.
Like Galio.
Can play Galio to further the protection onto Clear and to Diablo and say, it's 1v9 Diablo time, which has often been a pretty safe bet.
Yeah, you got the Nocturne as well.
The Syndra, though.
But instead,
this is what I thought Showmaker would do had he chosen this pick instead of the Cassante. A little bit surprised to see the tables turn on this one, because this feels highly unnecessary for the draft here of B&K, because this does neither what you and I went on to two sides of the coin of Galio for protection of the AD carry and to index further into Diablo, or additional scaling damage because you already have the Cassante frontline and you turn a single threat comp into a double threat. This is engage and pick in a draft that has a scaling Unara and a Cassante frontline, and it doesn't actually synergize that well with Nocturne either. It can if you're in the right place at the right time. And the Nocturne finds that ambitious ultimate. Yeah,
you have a lot of kill pressure with the Unleashed Power and the Paranoia that come through if you want to blow up one target, but they have to be named in game number 3. We'll have to wait and see how it does go as we hop onto the rift for that game number 3. Here we go. Lower finals could be decided in this very game as DKF found no luck in the first couple. B&K just shutting them out so far.
When I think about side lane champions that are really, really powerful to play through with a Nocturne that can shadow them, Cassante and Syndra are absolutely not on that list. They're not the ones you think. They're not the ones
for the Wolves, maybe? Okay, well, Lucid coming on in, going for an early gank, and Kellen just dies. First blood given over to Career, but it's still a kill. It's now Raptor gonna try to get out of there, but yeah, not in a great spot himself. Flashes forward to try to get closer, and Raptor gonna have to flash himself. Does spell shield the sleep, and he will be okay. Barriers are going to be traded.
Yeah, Kellen gets his heal back online, so that's a little bit of extra health as they get the slow.
Slurkle comes in, Career in a lot of trouble, no sums. Couple more autos could do it. Flash forward and Diablo, seeing blood in the water, picks up a kill for himself.
The Yunara damage output is just so insane, they
Pick up
almost
the streak with the help of the Corki.
With the win of the Taliyah that Vikla picked up in game 1, his Syndra is now his.
And his Slurkle comes down, you can see that Raptor's just itching. He wants to press it, and in he goes, in onto the Nami, and Career's like, what do I even do? I was playing carefully, as now Lucy gonna come in. They try to take down Raptor, but Raptor is so tanky, and Diablo just runs him down. And even gonna push Smash back just a little bit for good measure, and wins the trade in a big way. Now we have Burst coming in. Showmaker wants to punish Vikla here. As the Q comes down and Showmaker doesn't quite have the pressure. Kellen getting in, he wants the kill, but it goes over to Raptor instead, and Smash will follow eventually. Really the only question is who picks this one up as the Q comes down, and actually
I think
he does get away.
He's going to live here because they just ran out of buttons. Everyone's too low. He could pick up a triple if they wanted to push, push it further or ask the question. As Career still doesn't have level 6, or he'd love to toss it in.
No, Career, not like this. He's going to have to flash, and man, the dominoes, they're not even falling one by one. It's like the...
I'm not 100% sure, but it looked like he was on a ward. He's going to show up again right now, so they know where he is.
Yeah, and now they're just going to try to turn this onto the Corki. You see that the Fear comes down, but they got to deal with the Pantheon. Lucy doing a good job of frontlining. Flash comes forward as Showmaker wants to make the play, but Lucy goes down. As that will be the kill over to Raptor. Now the chase is on, onto Career. Flash forward, it's not gonna connect. And now Vikla being burst away. The Unleashed power comes in though, as, oh no, Diablo oversteps. Not the first time, but that is massive for the side of DK. Vikla trying to get out. It looks like he barely will be able to.
Has the shield, gets the scatter, and he gets away. Very, very close turnaround there for Dplus, as things could have been much worse. And Vikla says, I want to continue to make that the case. Wants to lurk here and find Smash.
I think
he was on a ward.
Okay, well.
And Valdez, that vision toggle was alone and gets caught. It's just a bit sloppy here from BNK. Not really two ways about it. Dplus thanks to the freebie.
Showmaker just dies. And this is right before the Infernal Drake. Clear is being bopped a little bit. And actually the Infernal does go over to DK. So they were on it, and Showmaker tried to rotate over, it looks like, and just kind of dies. So Mountain Soul this time. Pretty massive for DK, as you mentioned. 2 dragons. They've caught up in essentially every facet. And Vikla, once again, this time he's just going to face check, and guess who's here? It is indeed Lucid. Somehow Career gets that kill. As now they're going for the kill up on the top side. Looks like, once again, Showmaker will meet his arch nemesis as Clear picks up another kill and gets him down. Shiu is going in, but that is Yunara.
And the lane
going to force him to ult away.
Here, a little bit awkward for DK. Like, they have Smash in the bottom lane with the Pantheon, so he's relatively free to farm, but I don't know if he needs to be here right now as the Jax is dealing with the Yunara, so not having a great time!
Shiu, no! What's going on here?
And so the Corki is back
mid,
and he just dies in the mid lane to the Yunara. Like I was saying, this is not where the Jax wants to be. The Jax wants to be dealing with the Cassante, where he can counter-strike and buy space, not where Showmaker is, who ends up getting caught there on the top side and burst down. And Dplus's macro falling apart a little bit here in this mid game, and now the Herald is up for grabs.
Yeah, it just looks like they're falling apart a little bit at the seams. And now the Herald's up here, and now we got the stun down on a Lucid. Tons goes into him, and Clear has the flank once again. 2 kills, the Herald. And Smash alone just trying to get away. And BNK, the rocket has really taken off here.
It really is. 3 grubs already there.
He's not very happy about this.
It's wild to think that... Okay, we are going to see a bit of a Showmaker gank here, so I'll hold my words for a moment.
Yeah, I got to land the stun, and the bubble is going to sail wide, and Smash once again tries to step up to Diablo. The bubble, though, is gigantic. As we do see the follow-up tidal wave, though, it's going to keep them at bay, and just that. As Diablo is just so powerful right now. We do see Lucid is here, and the flash!
Diablo baits him! He baits him!
Oh, he's just styling all over DK right now, and Showmaker once again has to deal with these 2. Once again dies to the Cassante.
I mean,
what do you do?
When we had Arrow on the desk the other day, he was like, I don't know why Diablo plays like this, doesn't need to, but
It's fun to watch, and it works out as he's literally baiting the Pantheon flash stun. He has his flash at the ready. He's standing on the edge of the range. You can see it.
Yeah.
You can practically see the range indicator with your eyes as you watch that moment. And he's just so ready.
Yeah, B&K are here farming wins, and Diablo's here. He's like, I want some of those Showmaker fans to look at me as the next generation of the LCK. As we definitely know, he is a big part of it. It looks like this first Mountain Drake should be going over to the side of B&K. Channeling a back here is Cassante. Just gonna find Xiu, who's like, well, what's going on here in this bush? I've got a counter-strike that's not gonna do all too much against the Syndra. There's a lot of damage, a massive stun comes down, but the health bars are pretty low. Looking to engage now, Showmaker desperate for something, and Lucid just blown up immediately. And you see that the rest of the DK is just running away. In goes Raptor, flashes out there as the sleep comes in, but the damage is enough as Kellen says, I will collect the kill. And he does exactly that. B&K now 5,000 gold ahead, Wolf.
The first pick Pantheon is 0-4, and it looked like a balloon. T1 just cannot hold a candle to B&K here in this best of 5 today.
B&K looking insane tonight, and now they're looking for Xiu as well, and they will pick up that kill. A bunch does go into clear, but he is the tank. And so at the end of the day, he will brush it off and not really care all too much. But it's just another kill, another turret going the way of B&K. And they're just, you know, there's no big objectives. I guess they could go for Baron, but they say we'll take the kill first.
Dragon's up in 140, so they grab this vision. They are on a 3-item Yunara setup, like where doing Baron feels like it could be quite strong, but they also have a Syndra, so it's not the fastest Baron, and they don't have a ton of control, so they're going to play a little bit more patiently as Diablo has Flash.
Yeah, he is just not going to use it until the very end here, but Flash has come in from Lucid, and now Clear shows up, and he says, get away from my 80 carry. And Diablo is still alive, finally. We do see the spear come in, and Clear a little bit out of position. Now he's being burst, but he is going forward in B&K fashion, has the wild growth, and they say, no Yunara, no problem. And they will be able to take down Smash and eliminate the second 80 carry from this fight. So now Xiu's like, huh, maybe I can do it. No, he's just gonna get stunned up. So we do see Raptor going on in. And I think they gotta get out of here. Stat, although we are gonna see Xiu going in, does land the double stun. And now Showmaker trying to get something done as Unstoppable will go clear. And finally, Vikla is going to show up to this one. And Xiu finally does get that kill on a Raptor, but eventually will bite the dust. As now we have the bubble coming in. Showmaker trying his best to make something of this series, but he's just going to get polymorphed and trying to follow up here. He's going to pick up a flash, but not quite able to land too much more.
Yeah, the blast cone is going to help build more space here, but I think that was the end of it, that final sleep. A lot of play here from Clear in this crazy... Kellen then has to save him. Some really good play from Kellen. This is a scrappy fight that didn't need to be that scrappy. The lead here for B&K, though, is so big that I just don't know if it matters that Dplus get these small victories in these longer exchanges.
Yeah, it's not enough, as you mentioned. Now we're going all out under the turn, and guess who's back? Back again. It is Nocturne to bring you the nightmares to any side laner, as Diablo's just in it. I don't really know how he got here, but he is ready to fight, as he always is. Diablo picks up the kill and has the McHale's right there. Meanwhile, we see Smash and Career trying to push away the Cassante, but like, they're losing so much, man. B&K are just owning all of the games today.
Yeah, and this is, I think, in part due to draft. Something we haven't talked about that much, you know, in terms of the overall season. We've talked a lot about the 80 carry meta, funneling your 80 carries goal, winning bottom lane, playing that 3v3 better. But draft has played a major part, I think, in so many of our playoff series, including B&K's win over T1, Dplus's win over T1, and now Dplus's loss. It looks like very likely here to B&K.
Oh,
no vision,
no
nothing.
Idea. Showmaker might just die here. The power comes in, and he is just hiding in the jungle. And no longer will Zoe be alive for this Baron. Career as well might be in some trouble. Bubble does go down on a Vikla, but even the wild growth is there trying to save Vikla. He's running away from everybody, and nobody can deal with him. Career goes down and clears behind enemy lines. B&K truly are off the rails now as Vikla is back, decides to die.
10,000 gold the lead here means that Vikla, the worst thing is you might get a stern talking to after this game, but I just don't know if it is really going to matter here as Dplus barely hanging on in this game, and to win this series and to face off against Gen.G, it will have to not only reverse. And
yeah, I don't know.
Diablo's making a statement.
Sometimes the most unexpected result is the one that happens. Diablo is getting chunked out a little bit. Raptor getting flanked. He has to go forward. Doesn't really have any help from his team, though. Although on the bottom side of this one, Lucid getting shredded by this gigantic Unara. As Diablo is just running straight into them. Does not care at all. The flash forward from Kellen to save him. And Diablo can do whatever he wants tonight. And he will do exactly that. Has the backing of his team, and he knew it. Splashes into 4 people and does not get punished.
He just typed /God mode in the chat. And that's exactly what happened as his teammates give him all the resources. Smash here, looking for something.
Yeah, and they're stopping the back at the same time. Career's just dead, that's fine. But, like, they stop Smash from getting back so that this push can happen in mid.
That's an inhibitor down, and there's no angle.
Oh, no. Okay.
That's a very appropriate emote for the situation.
Nice. For the whole series.
This is they have, the global they have, the 80 carry they have. Vikla is gonna look for an angle.
Well, it's looking like death number 7 for the most popular guy in the arena, as we've mentioned many times, but he was not able to put up the performance to back it up, as now the damage goes in on the Smash, and that is Vikla's job. Just do just that, and Smash does not get to play the game. Doesn't matter if he dies or not. Smash 4-1, he's like, well, I guess this just wasn't our LCK Cup. We got the win on the T1, and that was a little bit too much, I suppose. And BNK, I mean, at least because this one is so one-sided, now I have hope that maybe BNK can do something tomorrow. Because before this, I was like, well, just give Gen.G the trophy, you know, the classic saying. But BNK looking amazing tonight, and DK have had no chance.
Certainly not really any ins in this series, as it's just an everything gap between these squads. A Showmaker trying his best to make something of this. The bubble.
All right, there it is, the bubble, but everything is thrown into Diablo to keep him alive, and even Showmaker trying, but does no damage. Another sleep bubble does come in at least. And that's about all they're going to get. The knockback comes back on a Lucid. He gets stunned, and Diablo looking for more. As Clear is going to pick up another kill and deny him any streak there. But the game is over, and BNK are just playing with their food. But they have done what they came here to do tonight, and that is to book their ticket to the grand finals tomorrow. Down goes Diablo. He does not care. BNK 3-0. Shut out DK. Make it to the grand finals, and also make it to first stand.
Arguably the most one-sided series of playoffs. BNK just do not relent in pressure all across the map. In skirmishes and scraps, they were better. Their macro was better. The vision game was better. The bottom 2v2 was better. And you can make an argument that Showmaker outplayed Vikla overall in this series, and I think that's the only place you can really, truly say there was a hole here in the game plan for BNK. But you know what? He still hit that double shove. He still hit that double stun in that critical fight on the top side of the map. He still pulled it off.